Welcome to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast, where insights, attitudes, and methods for success get illuminated. Learn what leaders and change workers have done and are doing now to create magnificent futures. We interview great guests who inspire you to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Be sure you visit our website at self-helpcoaching.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, just relax as you listen. You can do something else, but be ready to make an important note. And let's get started.
The title of this interview is The Ultimate Formula for Scaling Your Business Organically. And we're going to be talking about how to organically get a conveyor belt of qualified prospects for your business. Our guest is Terri Levine. She is a branding/marketing strategy development and marketing implementation orchestrator. She is the founder of Entrepreneur, and that is trademarked or registered at least. So that's serious, and is a business marketing consultant who assists businesses worldwide with business growth, sales, and marketing. She has more than 40 years of business experience. Now, as a business person, that's awesome. As a woman, she probably was like a little shy about that, but I tell you what, she's here as a business person, and that is awesome. That is highly respectable. And when someone comes on the show with that kind of background and experience, I certainly pay attention, for one, because they got something to say that's worth listening to. Her work is 40 years of business experience, encompassing work with more than 6,000 business owners and entrepreneurs in a variety of industries. She is also a best-selling author of dozens of books, has her own radio and TV show, and is also a keynote speaker. So we got the real deal here, okay? Dozens of books. All right, great stuff, man. What a resume, fantastic. Terri has a passion for helping businesses to grow with her own personal experience gained while building multiple successful businesses from the ground up. Terri has created the Entrepreneur cause, teaching business owners to do business heart to heart. Terri conducts training seminars and programs, helping entrepreneurs become more profitable and increase their bottom line. She is passionate about speaking to business owners about what tactics they can do to skyrocket their business. We're going to be talking about this, me and her, quite frankly, because I could use that myself. Terri also is on the advisory board of several companies, and she volunteers for a local homeless shelter in her area and dedicates time fundraising for the nonprofit foundation she founded, the Terri Levine Foundation for Children with RSD. And the website is Terri Levine Foundation for Children with RSD.org. And of course, like all her websites, that will be listed on her page at our website, selfhelpcoaching.com. So great. Welcome, Terri.
Thank you, Tony. I'm so glad to be with you.
It's my pleasure. And I of course, I knew who you were before I brought you on. I assess every guest. And I didn't look at it as closely as I did yesterday. I was like, wow, she's got some serious experience, right? You got a fantastic background.
Thank you. I literally just have been very myopic, doing what I do, keeping my head focused on it, and it's what I love.
Great. So now I'm going to talk about a few of your unique selling propositions, or what you do, and that's unique, such as the conversion equation. What is the conversion equation?
So I wrote a book, I guess about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, called The Conversion Equation. It is a best-selling book that was published by one of my publishers. And what I basically decided to do, based on clients begging me for it, was dissect about 100 of my client family members and exactly how they got to 7 figures using my methods. So I took all their case studies and then I put it together in a book teaching exactly what each person did. So no matter who you are or where you are, you're going to find certain people in there and be able to follow their success. And the conversion.
So let me see if I got this right. You took 100 businesses, analyzed what they did to bring them to the success that they got to.
Yeah, following my actual, which I was going to tell you, my actual conversion equation.
Your
Yeah.
formula. Okay. Well, hey, that's impressive.
It's a 4-step formula. I'll just share it very, very quickly. And
Please.
if most business owners knew this, it would change their businesses. The very first thing is you have to interrupt your exact target audience. They are way too busy scrolling and hearing so many messages. So if your message isn't targeted right to them and you don't interrupt them, they stay in downtime and they pay no attention.
Right.
Once you interrupt them, you have to instantaneously engage them. Otherwise, they're right back in downtime. And the third thing you have to do is educate them, give them some facts, some figures, some data that really speaks to them. And then finally, the fourth thing is to give them a low or no cost offer. And that's the opposite of what most people do. Most people, even if you think of LinkedIn InMail, hey, let's get on the phone, let's have a coffee, let me help you. So that is the actual method. And you can, again, in the book, The Conversion Equation, learn how to apply it directly for your business. The tools and everything is in there, totally free.
So that sounds like a whole marketing approach. That's a marketing approach though, right?
I'm going to say it's beyond marketing. It's how at Entrepreneur you create heart-to-heart relationships, and how I've been able to build relationships and have a community over 7,000 people simply by using this methodology. I don't hunt for clients. People raise their hand, they come to you. I call it reverse marketing through the conversion equation. It's not exactly just marketing.
Right.
Heart to heart.
Right. Thank you for that clarification.
Oh,
And I
no.
didn't mean to minimize it. I meant to simplify it, but you gave me illumination. Yeah. So it's marketing. It's about marketing, but it's about this authenticity. You make yourself so attractive that they come to you. The law of attraction is in full effect, and they come and say, they like, okay, I want what you're about.
Exactly.
Great stuff. And let me ask you, how did you get started in business?
So I graduated college, got my master's degree as a speech language pathologist, and decided to open my own clinic. Now, I knew nothing about sales, marketing, or business, and I almost failed. I was almost out of business. I couldn't figure it out, and I got really persistent. And by my persistence, at the time, I needed doctors to refer. So I got one doctor to refer, and then one doctor led to 3. And a couple of years later, I had developed my speech language pathology clinic, and someone bought it. They literally came in and bought it for $1 million, which, let me tell you, 43 years ago, that was a hell of a lot of money. It was a lot of money. And then I said, I wonder if I could apply the formula that I figured out to another business. And so then I had an art business, then I had a rehabilitation business, and I had all of these different businesses, and each one just went crazy. And then I realized it's a duplicatable, replicatable formula.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I tell you, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, certainly, but then we'll talk about your 2 websites that you've got. You got Entrepreneurcom and you have moderncoachingmethod.com. Now, I'm a personal development coach. I was a life coach, but really I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm really the head of a company. That's my focus. I don't even work with clients one-on-one any longer. But so I want to hear about this. I'm still fascinated by coaching, but really the thing that I need to learn and what I study and learn and strive to be better and better at now is being better entrepreneur and a business executive. And I think that there's going to be a lot for me to learn from both those websites and what you're about.
Yes, for sure there will be.
So let's talk about another thing that you do called CUPS, which is also has a trademark. So can you explain what you mean by CUPS?
Yes. So it's so interesting to me that when people would go to networking events or, even nowadays on Zoom or whatever, they all do that elevator pitch. And, in the world of coaching, when I first started in this industry 28 years ago or so, every coach sounded the same. They'd be like, oh, I take people from point A to point B really fast. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And I don't necessarily want to go really fast. And then my husband would stand up at a BNI and go, I'm the dream maker. I'm like, you're a financial advisor. Why don't you just be plain? So I created what's called a core unique positioning statement, or a CUPS CUPS. And basically it starts in this way. You start with, I help, I serve, one of those, or we help, we serve. So I help, I serve. Then who specifically, because if it's not me, I don't need to keep listening. Right. So I help entrepreneurs. I help small business owners. I help dentists, whoever that small audience is. Then what do you help them do? The one result that they've told you they want. I help them get 3 clients in 30 days, for example. Okay, very specific. Then you say how, and it needs to be using my proprietary system, method, or formula, which you name. So in my case, using the modern coaching method. And then the last word is guaranteed. Because if you can't stand behind what you're selling, please sell something else. So I help, I serve, I support who specifically get what one specific result using your unique process, method, or system. That's how you stand out from everybody else, and you're unique. And then the final word is guaranteed.
Now, that sounds like a very succinct and effective system. And you qualify people, you tell them what the primary benefit is, and you, at the end, you risk reverse, so you get right to it. And you know, that sounds like you hit the nail on the head.
It's really powerful. And I've had clients, and some of them are mentioned in the book, The Conversion Equation, who doing that one thing, stop being a cookie cutter in their industry as an entrepreneur, as a coach, whatever it is they do. I have some medical doctors, and literally started to get more clients instantaneously just through that one statement. That's how powerful it is.
You know, in my initial business plan for my coaching practice, which was called Captain Coaching, I certainly started out as a life coach, one-on-one coaching. There's a million of it. I love coaching, but it's an oversaturated field, right? And most coaches don't even make over 25K, the vast majority. There's a lot of coaches. It's very competitive, but it's a growing industry, but nonetheless doesn't support the amount of coaches that are in it. But aside from that, I knew that first of all, I'm a rather unique individual. I really embrace my individuality. So, I had a vision though that I like, I love self-help, personal development. But I realized that it didn't work, right? You know, if it worked, I would have been a millionaire a long time ago. You sold your first business for $1 million. I've been working on that first million, still haven't gotten it. And I'm 56 now. So I was like, okay, first of all, I don't want to compete with all these other people, number one, all right? Because it's just a big competition, so let me take myself out of that competition. And what's my vision? What's the problem that I'm seeing that only I can solve, the way being me. And that's what I did. I solved, even though we haven't launched our app yet, we solved the problem of self-help. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to transform self-help. We're going to create a new success in revolution by making self-help work. And like that. And so that's the unique thing that I went after myself, because that automatically differentiates myself. But of course, I've got to market myself well, because if I don't market myself well, as unique as I may be, nobody's going to get the message. Ain't nobody going to sign up. Right. And right. They've got to know what I offer with clarity and accuracy. Otherwise, it's going to be. So I think that what you do, right, with the CUPS, right, by making that just part of your branding or your marketing, you're making it very clear. So I'm gonna look at that method, what I'm doing, just through that filter.
Yeah, that'll make a big difference. You're talking about the coaching industry. Well, it fascinates me because I started as a life coach also a long time ago. And in the industry, I look at coaches' websites all the time. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, because I'll say this applies to every business. The first question I want to ask you is, if you have stuff that you say on your website, on your social media profile, or anywhere that I can look at and say, so what? Oh, we're quality. So what? If you're in business, I'd expect you to be quality. Oh, we meet with you one-on-one or in groups. So what? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, are you a cookie cutter? In other words, can I find other people doing and saying exactly what you say? And if that's true, I'll always pick the cheapest one of those, because why would I buy the expensive one? And the third thing that I teach my client family members this is, can I do a scratch and sniff test? And what I mean by that is, if I go to your website or your social media, can I just take your name out and put my name there? if that's true, nothing is unique about you, your brand, your offering. So those are my 3 little tests to see if you're really core and unique, Tony.
I like that. And I'm not to toot my own horn. I already had a sense for it, because uniqueness is great, but people got people don't just buy that. They buy the value, and you got to be credible. Okay. Without the credibility, they ain't buying. And without them liking you or offering a great value, they're not buying either. But you hone right in on that. And I have that, but I need to do a better job of honing, I think. So yes, definitely. Okay. So let's take okay. I'm sorry. Go on.
Now, what I would just say is, I really mean this for you, get the book, The Conversion Equation, look at some of the people's core unique positionings, and then that'll give you ideas to create your own. Just wanted to give you personally a piece of advice.
I'm writing that down right now, Terry. Very good. Okay, let's take a quick moment to hear from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with Terri Levine.
This episode of Self-Help Coaching is brought to you by Proficio. Do you like learning by yourself or with others? What if you could do both at the same time? Visit www.proficio.io. That's proficio.io, where you can learn in the environment that suits you as you choose.
You're listening to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast with me, your host, Tony Petrozza, and our guest is Terri Levine. We're talking about what she does and how she helps entrepreneurs and heartrepreneurs. And I love, first of all, I love language. As a coach and as a practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, I just love language in general. But I love it when people put words together or construct words. You made heartrepreneur, I've in my business, I coined the term client, which my partner hates. Okay, but I said, listen, with self-help coaching, I created this app, Proficio, which is an automated app which combines self-help and coaching automatically. Okay. And so it's a new experience. So I say, well, coaches have clients, and self-help is a form of education. So a person is a student. So I combine client and student. I made client. I like it. I like it
too. I really do. I resonate.
Great. So I just have to educate people, and not confuse them, which is, I embrace that. And you created the term heartrepreneur. All right. So first, I want to know how you came to name that. And wait, how did you name your company Entrepreneurcom LLC?
Very interesting. So when I first started, my company was called Comprehensive Coaching. And then because I owned a coach training school, it became Comprehensive Coaching U, as in university. And I was with one of my publishers in New York, and I was writing a book for him. And he took the manuscript, and he'd published like 5 of my books, and he threw it on the floor and said, I don't want this book. And I had a contract for a book, and I'm like, what? And he said, I've known you for 11 years. You're a heartrepreneur. I want that book. And I remember saying, I'm a what? And he goes, figure it out. So I had to take the train from New York to my home in Philadelphia. The whole time on the train, like the first hour, I'm like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, it was like I could have had a V8. I'm like, oh, I do business with heart, and I'm an entrepreneur. I get it. I came home, and it resonated so much that I called my attorney. I said, I want to brand this. I want to trademark it. I want a logo. I want to change the name of my company. And we changed everything. And heartrepreneur actually stands for, in my mind, doing business with integrity, authenticity, and transparency. And my goal is to disrupt the way business is typically done through the heartrepreneur cause or movement.
Now, what's that protocol again, Terri?
What's the what called?
The way a heartrepreneur works?
Integrity, transparency, and authenticity.
I love that.
I thought you'd resonate.
That is great. That's a great protocol parameter. I like 3-pronged parameters. I think are fantastic. Not too many, not too little. And maybe make an acronym, whatever. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And so tell me what Heartrepreneur LLC does.
So what we do is we're a business consulting agency, and we take people who are either retiring from corporate, want to get out of corporate, and people who maybe have started to think about things like coaching or consulting and haven't quite gotten to their pinnacle of success yet. And we literally take them and take their hand on the journey, implementing the conversion equation in their business with them. They don't have to do it alone. They do it with us. And we guarantee that they will make $100,000 within 6 months, or we don't keep their money, because it's our job to do that. And also that they will have a minimum of 3 clients with us in the next 30 days. And it's a process where everything that I have done to establish my own 8 multi-million-dollar businesses in so many industries, and my 6,000 client family members all over the world have used to create 6- and 7-figure businesses. That's what we implement and instill so that every entrepreneur can have the kind of success that they desire and deserve.
So a person can read your book and read how to do that. But if they really want, of course, the value of working with a consultant and an expert,
Yes.
they go to you, they go to Entrepreneur LLC, they hire you or one of your associates, and they get to do all that.
Yes. And it's pretty crazy because I have a lifetime of work. You talked about that in the beginning, 43 years. I give everything to my clients. They get literally my life's work. So they get access to everything, and they just can't not fail. As long as they show up and they implement, the success is there. So I always tell people, if you're really not willing to implement, it's like saying you're going to go to some diet program, investing in it, and then eating pizza, cookies, and ice cream going, it doesn't work. If you're serious and you actually implement, my goodness, it not only works, you will be one of our success stories, guaranteed.
Fantastic. Now, what is your company's mission and vision?
To truly disrupt the way business is currently being done, which in my view is transactional. Let me go get a customer, cha-ching, on to the next one. Could care less about the person once they come in. That's not the way to do business. In fact, I've had clients with me for 27 years, 20 years,
Wow.
26 years. I have the same clients. I have a client who started up with me with a concept that everyone told her wouldn't fly, including SCORE. I said, I can see it. I'll help you. She did $100,000. This is 25 years ago. She did $100,000 the next month. We built a brand. We built a company. She averages $3 million a year. She has her own TV show, best-selling author. She works 10 hours a month. She sits in the CEO chair, and her company is making a massive difference on this planet for Black women who want to own their own companies. So that's just an example of why clients stay with me. I keep elevating their game and elevating their game. And if they can help more people through my method, then I'm successful.
That's fantastic. And you definitely must be doing something right because of the longevity that you have, the relationships you have with your clients. And I hope you don't mind me mentioning, Terri owns multiple homes. She's a beach person. I'm a water person. She's a beach person. I think she'll be going to Mexico soon. I don't know. The Christmas is coming. That's fantastic. And I love Mexico. Well, what's not to love about Mexico, except for the crime? You got to be careful of that. But listen, everyone has crime. But
we got that in the U.S. too.
right. But Mexico is awesome. It's just a fantastic place. I've spent a lot of time there. But I tell you another thing that you said that you did. You traveled from New York to Philly as a commute. I have like this romantic idea of the Amtrak commute from New York to Philly. Now you did it many times, no doubt.
Yeah.
Is it still romantic in your mind, or is that just mine?
I really enjoy it, to tell you the truth. I like the time on a train. I like the kind of peace I get on the train. And for me, it's good thinking time. It's good creating time, good writing time. So I actually enjoy it. And, I absolutely love New York. To this day, New York is my absolute favorite city. I've traveled the world. New York is it for me. It always will be. And there's just something magical for me as the moment that I just step back onto the streets in New York is just, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just a magical place to be.
Now, I was telling, I've lived all over too, and New York, the Big Apple, to me is
Yeah.
that's number one. But Terry and I were speaking before the interview, and I was telling about some of my ambitions and plans or ideas, and how I was thinking about Philly to move there and set up a business there. And she talked me out of it. I'm not saying that, okay? If you're in Pennsylvania, you're like, don't be mad at Terry. She's not talking me out of it. She just gave me some real accurate information because she knows. And but I just love the idea of I love Philadelphia, which is an awesome city, right? Obviously, I mean, I think it was actually our first capital, if I'm not mistaken, of the country. But anyway, but the commute, that Amtrak commute, all right, especially that train, from between those two cities, either way, it just seems like, you get off at Penn Station or the Penn Station in New York, I love.
Oh, phenomenal.
It's a special place. When I first started in business, I was doing multi-level marketing in the 90s. I was going to acting school in Midtown, and then I go to Penn Station and I use the phone banks to make my phone calls, doing multi-level marketing, and I loved it, and I was really squeaking by. But I was like, it was just I was enamored by the whole thing, I'm like, and then I see people going on and off the Amtrak. I'm like, I would love it if I, did a commute someplace, a successful businessman, and I'm going to do that one day. But I tell you, you got to be real about taxes. You got to be real about what's best for your business, what's best for your clients. You got to consider all those things.
Yeah. I mean, I feel very blessed. We did talk before the interview. I love living by the beach. There's just something about that for me. So, I grew up in Westfield, New Jersey, which was northern New Jersey. And I always said, I really want to live by the ocean. So my husband and I bought a condo that is right on the ocean. Literally, I walk out the door, my feet are in the sand, and when I'm working, I can sit on my patio and hear the ocean and see the ocean. It makes me happy. So then we decided Mexico is like my love. I just love the people, the culture, the food, and the beaches. So about 12 years ago, we bought a home there on the beach. And one of the things I love is I created my business by design, not by default. I want people to really get this.
Yes.
I created my lifestyle first, and then I fit my business into it. And by the way, my clients love that. They love that. I bring about 12 of them to Mexico every year. I have a whole bunch coming with me in February.
Wow.
Do masterminds there. And so what I teach my clients is not just go make money. It's create time freedom to live the life you want. And I have a client who just moved to Puerto Rico part of the year. And she keeps saying to me, I can't believe I'm living here. Like, you helped me design that I could work from anywhere. And that's just something that I want people to understand. It's not just about making money. It's about living your life by design, not by default.
I'm definitely going to be talking to you after this interview, because you're really resonating with me, my dear woman. You are directly saying the stuff that I like. Yes. This is what I want to do. I want to be very deliberate, very purposeful. Okay, enough of that right now out of me. I'm going to take a moment to hear from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back with Terri Levine and more about the modern. I want to get into your modern coaching method when we come back. Okay, brief moment from us.
This episode of Self-Help Coaching is brought to you by Proficio. How's your financial health? Are you ready for emergencies? What if you actually had in you the wisdom of Benjamin Franklin? There's a reason why his face is on the $100 bill. Visit www.proficio.io. That's PERFICIO.io, where you can make certain that you're on the road to be financially independent no matter what happens.
You're listening to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast with me, your host, Tony Petrozza. We're here with Terri Levine. We're talking about conversion equations, CUPS, we're talking about Entrepreneur. Let's talk about Entrepreneur.com first, okay? We've talked about Entrepreneur, which is your business and what you do. If someone goes to Entrepreneur.com, what are they going to find?
tons of free resources. There's blogs, there's interviews, there's my magazine, there's my television show, there's free downloads, free resources, free tools. I put the site together to just give away as much value as I can. You don't have to opt in for things. Just go. The resources are there for every entrepreneur or wannabe entrepreneur.
So there's lots of reasons to go to that website. And later on at the end of this, Terri will offer a free gift that's not even on the website. So there'll be even more free value coming. So there's a lot of value here. Okay, great. So let's talk about the modern coaching method. What's that? What's it about? Let's hear it.
So I mentioned earlier, I used to own a coach training school, and we trained and certified something like 5,800 coaches worldwide. And then, I don't know, 14 or 15 years ago, I started to see the saturation in the industry and said, although this is a successful business, I just don't want to do it anymore. And I closed it down. People were just devastated. However, I have to do what feels true to my heart, and it didn't. So I wasn't really helping folks in the coaching sphere so much. And my team was coming to me all of 2020 going, Terri, every day we have like 10 coaches that reach out to us and ask for help, and you don't train them and help them anymore. And I said, all right, I'm paying attention. The universe is knocking and I am going to listen. So what I did was I took all of my resources from the coaching industry. I got 30 clients in 30 days. I did $500,000 my first year, $1 million the second, and we've gone on to do 3 to 4 million a year every year. I put it all together. I spent almost a year taking everything I'd ever created, reorganizing it and saying, what if I was, quote, modern coaching, which means, what if I didn't start 20 something years ago? What if I started today? How would I replicate that success? Which is a lot easier because back when I started, we didn't have things like Zoom. We didn't have social media. We barely had email. We hardly had messaging. So I created every single thing a coach would need. If you think about how to get started, how to set up your business, how to create your core unique positioning, how to enroll people, how to go from 0 to 6 figures quickly, how to get your first 3 clients instantaneously, then how to coach them. What are Terri's most effective emails and posts and letters? And I give it all away. My calendars, my planners, every single tool and resource under one umbrella. And that's at the moderncoachingmethod.com.
Well, I mean, you give out, I mean, you really know what you're doing. It's obvious. And one of the things that you obviously do very deliberately is to give away as much value as you can to attract people, to help maybe initiate some reciprocity or whatever, but you definitely give away a lot of value, and you can't argue with that. That is awesome. And I strive to do that too, of course, because that's, you know, a major tenet in business. You know, you want to do that. And it's okay. So, and you obviously do that. So you got 2 websites, Entrepreneur.com, moderncoachingmethod.com.
Yeah, let me mention one other thing if I can. At Modern Coaching Method, we just put this up. So I created a brand new training. It's my master class. And yes, I do give it away. So when you go over to Modern Coaching Method, it's 36 minutes long. You can actually watch my master class. If you get value from it and you want to go further, you can set up a time to chat with me. If not, get the value and enjoy it. It's there for you.
Sounds fantastic. So if you're an entrepreneur or a business person, same thing, sorry for being redundant, go to Entrepreneur.com. There's lots of value. There's things to learn. This woman has been in business for 40 years, people. She got clients 27 years. She knows what she's talking about. But if you're also a coach like me, all right, go to moderncoachingmethod.com. She knows, she has lots to offer you, and she knows what she's talking about, because there's not a single thing that she said that I didn't disagree with in any, even a minor way. And who am I? But, you know, but I have coaching experience too, but nothing like you do. I mean, you are, I have to bow down to you. You're the real deal. So fantastic, great stuff. And also we're going to list your websites. We're going to list all your social media on Facebook, on Instagram, and LinkedIn on our page that we'll create for you at my website, selfhelpcoaching.com. And now it's been, you cut right to the chase. So this has been a very you've been very articulate and succinct. So we're already at the end of the really great interview. So I want to give you time for your final remarks, Terri.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you. Not only have you allowed me to be of service, I really oscillate with you. I definitely want to set up time for you and me to talk. We're supposed to talk. I get that.
We'll do it.
And I just want to, number one, hope that I've added value and that I've created some thought process for the viewers and the listeners. Definitely get the conversion equation, drop over to Entrepreneur and Modern Coaching Method. And I have a very active Facebook community. It's not like your typical Facebook community. It's more like a mastermind with me actually in there giving free advice, coaching, and consulting. And that is a Facebook group called Entrepreneurs with Terri Levine. So really encourage you to drop into the community. We have 7,000 people that do business together. And every week I provide live training, live help, and live support. This is my way, Tony, of giving back to the world of business. That's been so good to me. And when you drop into the group, go right to the file section and get this gift. It's called the Ultimate Enrollment System. The Ultimate Enrollment System. And just so you know, yesterday, somebody joined my group and said, I had looked at your Ultimate Enrollment System when I joined and thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And then I decided to try it because somebody else who just was in there 3 weeks ago posted, I used Terri's system and I got 14 qualified prospects. So no ads, no advertising, marketing, or wasting time. I'd like to help you. The Ultimate Enrollment System, again, it's at Entrepreneurs with Terri Levine Facebook group.
Fantastic. So people know about your websites. They're going to know about your social media, which is, well, they'll be listed, but it's on Facebook, it's Entrepreneur Terri Levine. On Instagram, it's Mentor Terri. And on LinkedIn, it's Terri Levine, but they'll also be listed. Okay, so they can contact you that way. They can follow you that way. Do you want to give out a way that they can contact you directly or just go to any of those things?
You can feel free to contact me. I answer my own emails. I'm a living, breathing person. And I'll give you the easiest one to use, which is coachingguru@gmail.com. Coachingguru@gmail.com.
You were early on that one. You got that one good. Very good. Great. So you have been a fantastic guest. We really resonate. I mean, we're in the same field, in the same tribe. Where you're more advanced than I am in what you've done, and I really respect you and admire you. Great stuff. You're obviously a leader in the coaching industry. So keep doing what you're doing, because I love coaching, and I think that coaches ourselves need some help in business because it's really rough. It's really rough. I'm not going to repeat myself what I said at the beginning. You knew it. You shook your head. You knew better than me because you were helping people, survive the industry while I was trying to struggle. I was struggling myself. So great stuff. Again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a coach, go to Terri's sites and check them out. I really appreciate you being here, and great stuff that you're doing. And I want to thank you very much and give you a chance to say goodbye.
I just want to say thank you. And Tony, I love the way this interview has been. It's so lovely and conversational. I appreciate you very much. Keep adding value the way you are.
Thank you very much. And remember, everyone, we are all responsible for ourselves, and we can all use a little help. So please, if you like this, subscribe, like it, share it, whatever. It's up to you. And we'll see you next time at the Self-Help Coaching Podcast. Thank you, Terri.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Help Coaching Podcast, where insights, attitudes, and methods for success get illuminated. Learn what leaders and change workers have done and are doing now to create magnificent futures. Remember to visit our website at self-helpcoaching.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Self-Help Coaching Podcast.